Well, hello, everyone, and welcome here to FNL Gridiron. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you. We are presented by Beals Insurance. The week number 9 edition, the final week of the regular season, is upon us. We're here to preview our broadcast doubleheader this week. 2 games of the week, again, coming your way Friday night and Saturday night. Tonight, we have a full show with 3 guests on the way. We'll open up with Jay Pinzenalt, staff writer over at the Seacoast Media Group. He's got his finger on the pulse of everything Seacoast. And there's a big game out on the beach tomorrow night between Winnicott and Bishop Girton. So we'll get the inside info from Jay coming up in about 10 minutes or so. Then Coach Talk after that as we shift things over. Coach Josh Porter of Nashua South back on the show tonight. South playing for a home game potentially if they can get a road win at Pinkerton tomorrow night. And that is where we will be in Derry. I think, Steve, is that a 6:30 or a 7 o'clock kick tomorrow night?
Ben's going to have to help us with that. I thought it was 7.
It is 7.
6:45. Yeah, I thought it was 7.
It's 7, which means we'll be on the air at 6:45 with our pregame coverage. Again, Nashua South at Pinkerton tomorrow night in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire game of the week. And then on Saturday, it's Wyndham and Londonderry. Lancers on the road looking for their 4th win, trying to shore up a playoff spot. Wyndham potentially could earn a bye with a win and a Pinkerton loss. So a lot on the line on Saturday as well. Coach Jimmy Lozon, longtime friend of the show, coming back on tonight at 6:15 to help break that down. So, Steve, the 2 games we are covering, some other games we are not covering this weekend, all with big tournament implications in week number 9, the final week of the regular season.
No doubt about it. Division 1, Nick, in the Central Division, these are playoff contenders. Basically, all 7 programs have a potential to make the playoffs. Some need some help. Some have it in their own control. But Pinkerton, Wyndham, Salem, Alvern, Central, Concord, Londonderry are potentially all in it. On the East, you got Memorial, Winnicott, Exeter, Portsmouth, Oyster River, and Timberlane all in the game as far as the playoff picture is concerned. And in West Division, clearly Bedford, Nashua South, Bishop Girton, Nashua North, and Merrimack are technically still in it. Again, some need some help with a win. Some with a win can leave that up to the point gatherers, if you will, and add all these things up in the abacus and see who comes through. One of the things that's going to be interesting, Nick, is the game we're doing Londonderry Wyndham. Big game for both programs. That's one of the things we've tried to do. Needless to say, Nashua South at Pinkerton, big implications in that game. We're doing those. And then we're going to be able to talk to Jay, like you said, Nick, about this game of Winnicott with BG versus Winnicott. Big implications there. If you were ever looking for a year where you've got important games all the way through the season every single week, I think we can look back going into the 9 week that every week from about the 3rd week on has had 4th week on has been major implications of the positioning and stratification of these teams. So I know we want to get some time with Jay, so I'm going to make that one short tonight. But there's some other good games. You've got Exeter and Manchester Memorial going at it. At Manchester Memorial, they're finishing out at home. You've got Portsmouth Oyster River, my wildcard team, playing at home against Spalding. And then you got Timberlane at Concord, big implications there. Some of the other lineups, we talked about the Nashua South at Pinkerton. We talked about Londonderry. You got Manchester Central, Salem at Manchester Central. Big implications there. Alvern, at one time, who thought we're going to be in the picture with 4 straight losses, but they won 3 out of their last 4. And they're still in it, and they're at Merrimack. So there's implications there. And then you've got, we talked about Concord. That's pretty much, as far as Bishop Girton, we did that one. Bedford at Keene. Bedford's in it. Not a lot of implications there. Keene's pretty much out of it. And then we got Nashua North home against home at Draken. Not probably going to count, but Nashua North looks like they're going to be able to get in on the lower platform. Look like they're in that preliminary round. But a lot of these teams at the same time, Nick, are looking and really hungering for home games in that preliminary round to get things rolling, kind of get things right. But 3 bye teams, certainly Bedford is in it. The others will be decided this week, and that's a big advantage for teams to get healthy. So a whole bunch of different things, as you can see here, going on. On Saturday night, we're going to know a lot about what's going to happen for the following week here. So I'm sure Jay's got a lot of color to add to that as well.
We're looking forward to breaking everything down next week on our show. We'll have the tournament brackets ready to go in all divisions. All right, on the other side of the break, writer from the C Group, you are watching FNL Gridiron, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Maybe it's leaning too close to your home. Maybe it's not healthy. Or maybe you just don't like it there. No matter what the reason is, if you need tree work or pruning, call Accurate Tree Service. They have the right equipment and expertise to properly diagnose, treat, or remove trees, no matter how difficult the terrain. Perhaps simple, careful pruning by our certified arborist is all you need to manage your trees and shrubs. When it comes to your tree care, contact the full-service tree care experts today, Accurate Tree Service, because you only get one chance to take a tree down right.
Are you a quarterback who is ready to take your game to the next level? Well, then it's time to join TKQB Academy. Founded by former UNH standout Trevor Knight, TKQB Academy has worked with student athletes from around New England, helping young quarterbacks to reach their full potential. TKQB Academy offers one-on-one and group sessions that will help you instantly improve your accuracy, timing, mechanics, and footwork. So be the best QB you can be at TKQB Academy. Call 603-732-7194 or reach out on Instagram at TKQBA. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include discount tickets, cards, and calendar raffles to hundreds of local merchants throughout the New England area. Don't waste another season. Raise more funds than ever before and become another football program in New Hampshire that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Well, we're back here on FNL Gridiron. We're live every Thursday at 5:30 here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, and we are presented by Beals Insurance. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you. Coming up, two coaches join us to preview our weekend doubleheader broadcast, 2 games of the week. Coming your way beginning tomorrow night in Derry as the defending Division I champion Pinkerton Astros look to stop a rare 2-game losing streak. They're taking on a very good Nashua South team at 7 o'clock. We are live on the air at 6:45. Saturday, we're back in Wyndham as the Jaguars play host to Londonderry. Lancers trying to shore up a playoff spot. Wyndham potentially could win the Central Conference with a victory and a Pinkerton loss. We'll talk to Coach Lozon of Londonderry later on tonight. And, of course, Josh Porter of Nashua South joins us in about 15 minutes. Right now, we bring in Jay Pinzenel, staff writer of the Seacoast Media Group, joining us from the Seacoast on the eve of week number 9. Jay, how are you tonight? Jay, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
There you go.
We're good. We're good. We are
Very good.
to proceed here. All right, Jay, tell us what we need to know about tomorrow night's battle between Bishop Girton and Winnicott. Warriors started hot, 2-2 the last month or so. Meanwhile, Bishop Girton has beaten opponents and has a couple of close losses, both teams with 2 defeats going into the game. And again, potentially a first-round home game on the line for both programs. What is the key takeaway, the big storyline tomorrow night between the Cardinals and the Warriors?
Yeah, I think going in, you would have to think that Winnicott, who once had control of their destiny, does not have that anymore. With last week's loss at Salem, last second loss, the 1-point loss to Salem, and then Memorial's win at Pinkerton, Winnicott does not have control anymore. They are most likely not going to get the Division I East title and the coveted first round bye that Coach Francoeur and his team were hoping for. I think there's still an outside chance that Winnicott does get that, but a lot of things have to fall their way. First and foremost is a win against a very good BG team, and then they would have to have some help from their rival Exeter pulling off the upset at Memorial. And the way Memorial has played the last 2 weeks since losing to Winnicott that you guys saw, with wins against Nashua South and Pinkerton, with everything on the line for them going into tomorrow night, I would think it's pretty fair to say that Memorial is going to go into that game against Exeter fired up and wanting to get that win to clinch Division I East. So for Ryan Francoeur, the thing he said to me before practice on Tuesday is that he just wants his team to continually to get better each practice, play a very good football game on Friday against a very good BG team, and see what happens after that. And he believes that there's going to be a home game for the Warriors, and I think Winnicott could still get a home game even if they were to lose Friday night. But I think that all depends on a variety of other outcomes up there. But Winnicott's ready. They're focused. They easily could have won last week at Salem. I thought they scored a little too early, taking the 1-point lead with 1:50 left on the clock. The way the Winnicott offense was going and the way the Winnicott defense was playing at that time, I thought they left a little bit too much time on the clock for Salem to come down and put themselves in a position to win that game, and that's what they did. Salem played a great game. They are very skilled, and Salem got a very well-deserved win over Winnicott last Friday night.
Yeah, Salem heating up at the right time for sure. And, of course, the Blue Devils are in that first-round mix as well. Jay, from a Warriors perspective, what portion of the team needs to step up? What group, so to speak, in the locker room, what position group needs to come to the forefront tomorrow night for the Warriors to beat Bishop Girton?
Yeah, I think they gotta take care of the ball. When Winnicott takes care of the ball, when they don't turn it over, they play well. Their offensive line has to maintain possessions for running backs of Dom Mancini and Harvey Reynoso and Thomas Lyons of late, the last 3 or 4 weeks. If the offensive line can get some push, the running backs can keep getting 3, 4, 5 yards a carry, keep moving the chains and holding on possession, keeping a very talented BG offense on the sidelines. I think holding on to the football and maintaining possession and just churning the first down after first down is the primary key for Winnicott to put themselves in a position to win tomorrow night.
Steve?
Timberlane's playing Concord as well, and Timberlane right now, if I'm not mistaken, is 3-5 in division, I believe, or 3-4. They're at Concord, going up to play the Crimson. We just saw Concord on Saturday, Jay, and Concord only lost to Wyndham 13-7. What do you make up of that game? And boy, big playoff implications there. One of those teams, if they win, potentially could get a home game. Certainly, it looks like Concord probably could What are your thoughts on that game, and what do each of them have to do to beat the other from the two styles of these teams?
Yeah, I've not seen Concord at all this year, and I've only seen Timberlane in their game against Winnicott, which was in week 2, which was a 19-7 win for Winnicott. But
Yep.
as you said, Timberlane has lost their last 2 games to Alvern and Portsmouth Oyster River, but both of those losses were one-score games. They lost by 3 at home against Alvern, and they lost by 8 at Portsmouth last Friday night. Timberlane certainly has the athletes to play well and can get a playoff spot. It's just for them, for Santos Soso, the star all-state wide receiver. He has to come up with a big game on Friday night, and they just got to hold a very strong Concord team on the sideline, or offense on the sidelines, as often as possible. But before Timberlane's last 2 losses, they beat Dover, they beat Goffstown, two teams that have not been playing well this season. But still, you beat the teams that you should beat, and they did that. And Timberlane has a really good shot in this game, and I would not be surprised if they were able to sneak out a win and put themselves in a position where they could be a 5th team from Division I East to join the playoff field.
You had alluded to the Exeter at Memorial game, Manchester Memorial game coming up as well, Exeter, lost last week to Portland. I'm just wondering if you know how good Portland is, because it was a 33-21 game, by no means a blowout. How good is Portland? Where is Exeter at this point as far as cruising into this 9th game? Where do you see them? Do they have a possibility in your mind to go into Memorial Field and defeating Manchester?
Yeah, I wouldn't put anything past Coach Ball. He is one of the premier coaches in all of New Hampshire for the last 40-something years. Portland plays in Maine's highest division. They are in Class A. They are the defending Class A state champions. Going into that game against Exeter last week, they were ranked number 1 in the entire state of Maine. So a very good, big, physical team. Bangor, the team that Winnicott played, plays in the same class as Portland, and I believe Bangor is currently ranked 3rd in the state in Class A. So Portland, I would give them a little bit of edge over Bangor, but Exeter has the players. Exeter certainly has the coaches, and I'm thinking Memorial gets a 2-score win tomorrow night against Exeter, but come October, late October, there's no better coach than Bill Ball on the sideline.
No.
So he'll have his team ready to go, and so I would give the Blue Hawks a fighting chance tomorrow night, and if they were to pull off the upset, I'm sure Ryan Frankor and the entire Winnicott football team would be very grateful for their longtime rival there down the street.
How about Portsmouth Oyster River, Jay? Really want to focus on your deep knowledge of the East. I had them as kind of like my wild card team to get in there, and they won again. They beat Timberlane 14-6, and they're facing Spalding. Certainly a favored going into that game, I'm sure. If they come out and win that game, where do you see Portsmouth in their mix? Because they've already beaten Winnicott, and they've had some very, very competitive. Had a nice win, against Winnicott. They had a nice win against Dover, and they had a nice win against Timberlane. So where do you see Oyster River's capabilities to potentially be a spoiler out there in the preliminary round if they're able to beat Spalding?
And you mentioned those 3 wins they had in another game that they did not win, but they could be their best game of the season. They only lost at Memorial by 5 points, 19-14 in week 3. So right now, I talked to Brian Pafford on Tuesday afternoon, and as he sees it, his team is currently 11, and he believes they can move up no higher than 1 spot to the 10 with a win over Spalding. So Portsmouth has size up front. They have a very good quarterback in Andy Brown. They got They got a key running back or slot receiver back last week in Micah Gedney, who was injured at Central back in week 4, I believe it was. He played a little bit last week in their win over Timberlane, and Pafford hopes to increase that pitch count this Friday and get Gedney on the field as much as possible, certainly more than he was last week at Timberlane. So they're slowly getting a little healthier. They have, as I said, a great quarterback in Indy Brown, size. Their defense runs all over the field. They can hit. So when Portsmouth gets in, because I believe they do beat Spalding tomorrow night, they'll be either 10 or 11, and whoever faces Portsmouth in that first round on the first week in November, they're going to be in for a battle because Brian Pafford will have that team playing well, and they're getting healthy. And as Winnicott found out, you can't look past them, because when you do, that's when you lose. And that's I'm not saying Winnicott looked past Portsmouth, but Portsmouth is very capable of winning and competing against some of the top teams in Division One.
Let's take a look at Salem. My last question here. Come out, win 2 games, lose the next 3. They beat Concord and Alvin early. They lose to Pinkerton, Bishop Girton, and Wyndham. And all of a sudden now they play Londonderry, Winnicott, Manchester Central, go 3-0. I'm sorry, Cumberland, Londonderry, and Winnicott, and they go 3-0 there. And they're playing Manchester Central. If they win that game, they seem to me, Nick and Jay, like they're not a team right now you're going to want to face in the first round. Tell me what you know about Salem or the Salem of recent times. Coach Steve Abraham's got those guys roaring, right?
Yeah, Salem looked very good last Friday at home against Winnicott. I believe his name is Zanino. Running back for them was very good, very quick, elusive back, got to the outside, and once he got into space, it was a foot race, and he won a lot of those. They have another back there that played well, and it was a dogfight last Friday night. But Salem, they had some adversity at the beginning of the year. They went through some personnel changes. They have kind of steered in the right direction the last 3 weeks with wins, like you said, at Londonderry, which is no easy place to win. They beat Winnicott, and they beat a very strong Cumberland, Rhode Island team. And I have a little history with Cumberland, Rhode Island, because I grew up in the next town over on the Mass Rhode Island line in North Attleboro, which runs into Cumberland. So they're always very strong in football and baseball, and so those are 3 very good wins going into the final week of the regular season. They play in Manchester Central tomorrow night at Gill, and I saw Central in their win against Portsmouth in week 4. They put up 49 points, and they struggled the next 3 weeks, but they kind of rebounded last week at Spalding. But I would say Salem's going to end the season with 4 straight wins and put themselves in a favorable spot in the playoffs. And that's another team that teams won't want to face. And this Division I tournament is going to be fun. There's a whole lot of teams.
Jay, you can't talk about the Rocket. You can't talk to me about the Rocketeers from North Attleboro. I graduated as a pitcher at Oliver Ames High School. I had a no-hitter going in my sophomore year, albeit JV at the time. Yep. I had a no-hitter going, and North Attleboro, that guy in 8 1/3 innings hit a single up the middle. I missed it by 2 inches, and I probably would have had a no-hitter. Boy, the Rocketeers, great sport history over there. I graduated, like I said, from Eastern Oliver Ames High. I didn't know you were you came from that area as well.
Yeah, I went to. I'm a Shamrock.
Absolutely. Oh, okay. There you go.
I went to Field.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Great school. Hey, I want to just make one quick correction, and I'll hand it back to Nick. Drakehead is going to be playing at Nashua North on Thursday night, tonight, not tomorrow night. Just want to make that. Jake, thanks for joining us. I'll hand it back to Nick.
Of course.
We appreciate it, Jay. For sure. Jay, bundle up tomorrow night. It may be cold,
Yeah.
and there may be some wind and rain out there on the seacoast. So
It's going to be cold,
stay
and that's
dry.
going to be my second game of the day. So since I'm going to have Winnicott Exeter girls soccer at 3, so I'll
There you go.
head over from Bill Ball Stadium to football, and it'll be a good one. The Pitt's house will be dark on Halloween for the first time ever. So there'll be no
Leave
candy.
Jay, we
candy
appreciate it.
Leave the candy
We
out.
appreciate the time tonight as usual, Jay. Enjoy yourself on the final weekend, and we'll talk
Good to
again
see you, Jay.
in November. Thanks again, Jay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jay Pinzano, Seacoast Media Group, good stuff as usual. He'll be at BG in Winnicott. We will be in Derry for Nashua South and Pinkerton. Astros hoping to wrap up the conference and end a 2-game skid. Nashua South, they're looking to host a first-round game. How are they going to get that done? We'll find out next. Josh Porter, head coach, on the other side. You are watching FNL Gridiron. It's presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Maybe it's leaning too close to your home. Maybe it's not healthy. Or maybe you just don't like it there. No matter what the reason is, if you need tree work or pruning, call Accurate Tree Service. They have the right equipment and expertise to properly diagnose, treat, or remove trees, no matter how difficult the terrain. Perhaps simple, careful pruning by our certified arborist is all you need to manage your trees and shrubs. When it comes to your tree care, contact the full-service tree care experts today, Accurate Tree Service, because you only get one chance to take a tree down right.
Are you a quarterback who is ready to take your game to the next level? Well, then it's time to join TKQB Academy. Founded by former UNH standout Trevor Knight, TKQB Academy has worked with student athletes from around New England, helping young quarterbacks to reach their full potential. TKQB Academy offers one-on-one and group sessions that will help you instantly improve your accuracy, timing, mechanics, and footwork. So be the best QB you can be at TKQB Academy. Call 603-732-7194 or reach out on Instagram at TKQBA. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include discount tickets, cards, and calendar raffles to hundreds of local merchants throughout the New England area. Don't waste another season. Raise more funds than ever before and become another football program in New Hampshire that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Back here on FNL Gridiron, we're presented by Beals Insurance. Nick and Aston, Steve Beals with you live every Thursday at 5:30. Our broadcast is tomorrow night, which is Friday, which is Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. We will be in Derry as Pinkerton and Nashua South, two of the best programs this season in Division I, battle it out. And Nashua South has a chance potentially to wrap up a home game with a win. Joining us now is Nashua South head coach Josh Porter, live from the office on the eve of the big battle. Coach Porter, thank you very much for carving out some time for us tonight, and welcome aboard. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for having me on. Really appreciate everything you guys do for bringing spotlight to New Hampshire football, and you guys truly do an incredible job week after week. So just wanted to say thank you for that and the opportunity to come on here and talk some football with you as well.
Yeah, we appreciate it for sure, Coach. Thank you for the kind words.
Mm-hmm.
How is year number one going for you here, now that you basically have the regular season under your belt? Obviously, you take over from a legend who was there over 2 decades in Scott Knight. How have things been going by your expectations?
Right on par. Right on par. I'm very fortunate to have such a great group of kids and staff in place for year one to make a smooth transition. It's definitely helped that I've been here right along with these guys when they came in as freshmen and now they're in their senior year. But this is right where we wanted to be. We're in the mix this time of year, looking to play some of our best ball heading into the most important time of the season. So, as far as expectations go, I think we're on par for what we saw going into this, right? Very tough schedule. I think we're learning Division One. There's a lot of parity this season. So it's been fun. It's been competitive. We like competing with all these top teams week in and week out. And, I think we're looking forward to the challenging weeks ahead of us.
Yeah. Coach, we saw your team way back, seems like a long time ago now, in week number 2 in your loss against Bedford. Where have you seen the most improvement with your squad from week 2 to week 9?
I think week after week, even just going back from week 2 to even just a couple weeks ago against Memorial, want to make sure we're focusing on the little things, assignment football, winning in the trenches. Every football coach in America or even nationally will probably tell you got to win in the trenches, right? So we're trying to take pride in that on the defense side of the ball and on offense. I'm a big believer offensively. We have a very good quarterback, Cody Jackson, as you guys are aware of, and some great receivers. But we believe, us being able to establish the run early on definitely helps open some things up even more so for us. We've been doing a better job at that in the last few weeks and staying balanced with our attack offensively, and I think it's translated to a lot of success.
Yeah, and your squad put up, I believe, a season high 51 points in their your week 8 win over Merrimack. It sounds like, Coach, everything was clicking there offensively. Is that the case here, that your team perhaps is peaking at the right time heading into week 9?
Certainly hope so. We had a lot of guys step up last week that filled in some key spots. I think this time of year, I was just telling the kids earlier, it's always a battle of attrition, right? As we get down to it, everyone's a little banged up, has a guy out here and there or whatnot, and next man up mentality. We had some guys step up for us last week that it was kind of their first opportunity. Eric Baker ran for almost 100 yards and 2 touchdowns in his first start at running back, which was awesome. We had Ryan Jansen fill in on the defensive side, and he had almost double-digit tackles. So it's always good when those kids step up. But, yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I think what we're doing is establishing an identity on both sides of the ball, and we have a tough test this week. Pinkerton presents a lot of challenges in itself, and Coach O'Reilly's been doing this for a very long time and very well respected. And so, we always talk about trying to play our best ball at the right time. So we hope that continues tomorrow night for sure.
Yeah. Steve?
Coach, great to have you here. Obviously, we only got one chance to see you, and we're really excited. We had a lot of good games out there, but the consensus was we want to see Nashua South again. I'm looking forward to this game. The more I think about it, the more excited I get. One of the things that I noticed about your football team, and I'd like to ask you your thoughts on why. There are teams out there that are good teams, but they tend to tire a little bit in the midway through the third quarter and the fourth quarter. One of the things I noticed in the film that I've seen of you and then seeing you live against Bedford, I do not see any breakdown on the fatigue factor with your interior linebackers and line core on the defensive side and your offensive line. There's a blocking culture there, but they do not tire. What is it that is going on in South that allows these guys to play with a kind of intensity in which they play with right from the opening kickoff to the final play? Because it is very obvious something's good is going on with strength conditioning, stamina building, etc.
Absolutely. And I'll start with exactly what you were just talking about. Strength conditioning. I can't speak highly enough of the hard work these kids put in. Last year we tried to give them a little bit of a break, and not even 2 days after we lose to Londonderry in the quarterfinals, they're back in the weight room after it. And that starts up front with really the senior class, tremendous leaders like Josh Tripp, Cody Jackson, Kevin Hamill, Cole Patno, even Bruno, and Sam Levine. Those guys, tremendous captains for us and led the way.
Yeah.
Not just this year, but the whole time they've been in the program. And it starts with them, right? I try and tell them great programs, players lead, right? It doesn't just come from coaches. So they hold their guys accountable. They work hard in the weight room and at practice. We really like to push tempo at practice and fly around so it translates to us on the field. And the other thing is, a big emphasis I told the kids last week, was just playing with heart. I felt like Memorial was probably a lesser example of what you were just talking about for us later in that game. And we wanted to make sure we got back on track with that. And we did, right? Merrimack had a chance to get some. Yeah, Merrimack had a chance even coming out of halftime last week.
Yeah.
And, we were able to answer and kind of stop the momentum swing. And we were happy to finish that game. So
I didn't see you guys giving out in Memorial. I didn't see you guys giving in, and I didn't really see giving out. What's your assessment of that game against Memorial? Because the rest of your record throughout the whole year, that's the only game that seems a little bit out of character as far as, is that just because Manchester Memorial is that good, or were there ingredients that went into that game that after seeing them on film, you think you could compete and run that game a little tighter than before? So just give me a quick rundown of your thoughts as head coach of the team. What was it about that game that makes that kind of margin?
Of course. First and foremost, all the credit in the world. That's a fantastic Manchester Memorial team. Coach Sturgis doing an amazing job. I think they're an incredibly physical team, not just in the trenches, but even in the perimeter. Yeah. And Schuff, I hope I pronounce his name right, that back number 1, that kid is fast, runs hard. I think between that and a little bit of emotional letdown coming off of a big BG win, that is a good team. All the credit in the world to them. To answer your question, you look on tape and there's always things, can we do this, that, adjust? I tell my guys anytime, I'll take the guys in purple over anybody in the state. I truly believe that. They got the better of us that night, and that's a good football team. And we learned even Bedford week 2, if we're not playing at our best, that can happen at any point, especially when we're playing these tougher opponents. Earlier in the year, I think we got away with, some smaller mistakes, right, that didn't hurt us. And then when you see a really good team like that, or even the week before with BG, we were down big in the first half for some uncharacteristic mistakes as well. And they made us pay for it. And we had to fight tooth and nail to come out on the end. So it's just making sure we're playing our best ball for a full game. And even going into tomorrow night's game, we're going to have to limit the mistakes for sure, because Pinkerton will make us pay for it. So,
last question, if I may, we got to go, Nick, real quick. Yeah. But quick question: when you look at Pinkerton and you look at McDonald and you look at these quarterbacks across the league, Cody Jackson's and so many others in this league, what do you attribute the rolling out, checking off? Just excellent form on their throwing, running capability, handoffs, decoys, the whole 9 yards, footwork. What do you attribute that to? We talk about Trevor Knight all the time. Obviously, he's had an impact throughout the league.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on top of that you see?
Of course.
Great
Trevor does an amazing job with all his quarterbacks, and he's such a fantastic coach and builds relationships with those guys. I think on top of that, right, that's kind of where the game is heading. Is you're not just getting your traditional pocket passers anymore. Offenses are evolving to kind of just putting your best athlete there that can throw, right, and then you teach them mechanically how to throw, with proper mechanics and all that stuff. So you're getting all these guys that can run off the bat. So then, you get your spread offenses, or even like Pinkerton, where McDonald's, they're getting him out on bootlegs and stuff like that. Wow. And he's using his legs. So I just really attribute that's kind of where the game is headed, right? A lot of people are preferring just to put an athlete in that spot and then teach him how to throw. It's sometimes it's just easier to do that than the latter, right? Take a great thrower and try and make him faster.
I tell you, this game tomorrow night in so many areas, we'll see you there, Coach. What a terrific job you've done this season with this program. I'll hand it back to Nick. Can't say enough about the way your players play.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Likewise. Absolutely, Coach. Great job in year number 1, win or lose tomorrow night. We appreciate you coming on for sure, and best of luck moving forward. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for everything you do for the state of New Hampshire.
Thank you. Coach Porter, doing a bang-up job in year number 1. South, a lot to play for tomorrow night. They win, they get a home game in the first round. Pinkerton, of course, looking for a bye with a victory on their home field. Saturday, we focus our attention back to Jaguar Stadium, where Wyndham will take on Londonderry. Lancers looking for win number 4, trying to secure their spot in the tournament. Wyndham with an outside chance of winning the Central Conference if they can grab their 7th straight victory. All right, on the other side of the short break, Coach Lozon is back on the program. Longtime friend of the show, the Londonderry head coach / athletic director, coming up next. You are watching FNL Gridiron, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Maybe it's leaning too close to your home. Maybe it's not healthy. Or maybe you just don't like it there. No matter what the reason is, if you need tree work or pruning, call Accurate Tree Service. They have the right equipment and expertise to properly diagnose, treat, or remove trees, no matter how difficult the terrain. Perhaps simple, careful pruning by our certified arborist is all you need to manage your trees and shrubs. When it comes to your tree care, contact the full-service tree care experts today, Accurate Tree Service, because you only get one chance to take a tree down right.
Are you a quarterback who is ready to take your game to the next level? Well, then it's time to join TKQB Academy. Founded by former UNH standout Trevor Knight, TKQB Academy has worked with student athletes from around New England, helping young quarterbacks to reach their full potential. TKQB Academy offers one-on-one and group sessions that will help you instantly improve your accuracy, timing, mechanics, and footwork. So be the best QB you can be at TKQB Academy. Call 603-732-7194 or reach out on Instagram at TKQBA. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include discount tickets, cards, and calendar raffles to hundreds of local merchants throughout the New England area. Don't waste another season. Raise more funds than ever before and become another football program in New Hampshire that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Final segment here of FNL Gridiron. We're live every Thursday at 5:30. We're presented by Beals Insurance. Nick and Astis with Steve Beals. If you missed any part of the show, do not panic. The entire episode is up on our YouTube channel under the video section. Friday Night Lights New Hampshire on YouTube at FNLNH Media. Like and /subscribe. All right, let's bring him in. The Londonderry Lancer head coach / athletic director, Jimmy Lozon, back on the show on the eve of the Week 9 battle between Londonderry and Wyndham. Coach, how are you tonight?
Doing well, thank you guys. Long time no see.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Thanks for coming on. We tried to get you earlier in the year, but some of those gremlins were haunting us behind the scenes. Technical difficulties smoothed out, so we're ready to go tonight. Um, Coach, it's been kind of a strange year by Londonderry standards. Anyway, a young team caught some losses early in the season, starting to put it together in the second half, and now you've got a chance to once again make the playoffs with a win over Wyndham. The old adage is that nobody's a first-year player, nobody's a rookie by the end of the year. It seems like, Coach, now you've got some experienced guys here in Week 9 that you can lean on the road tomorrow night. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, no, it's but our trajectory has definitely gone up throughout the year. Our guys are, that's no longer an excuse as far as being a newbie and just not having that experience. And I think that was the biggest thing for us at the beginning of the year. And even that, I don't like using that as an excuse, but we just the least amount of guys that we've had coming back with varsity experience was this year, and we were in games, man. We had chances to close them out and win them, and just about every single week. So I don't know if the experience necessarily played a factor in that. We made some key mistakes at crucial times, and if we can just overcome that, I think we're a pretty dangerous team, and our record would probably be complete opposite right now if we could just close out some games.
Yeah. Coach, is that something that the coaching staff can address, or is that something that the players have to figure out themselves in the fourth quarter?
I'm a big believer in preparation's probably the solution for anything. So, I'd like to think that I can prepare them for it. And, I think the more we practice things, the less likely we are to mess them up. And, it's situational play and just being intelligent in certain situations and just knowing what's coming. And, I think that's just playing more football, gaining experience and working with, the guys around you. And I think that all comes in practice and building that, camaraderie and whatnot. But, we had a couple of injuries at the beginning of the year. We threw some guys out there that, maybe we've now switched around and I think we found a home for. And we had to kind of trial and error on some things. And but I like where we are right now. And our offense has kind of been clicking all season. Is just more kind of figuring things out defensively. But yeah, I don't think we're far off.
Yeah. Coach, you mentioned the defense. What group, and I asked this, I think, of Coach Porter and I asked Jay Finson as well, what group have you seen the most improvement over the course of the season? And you're saying the defense seems to be lacking a little bit behind the offense. What personnel group defensively do you think can step up and fulfill some of that potential tomorrow or Saturday, rather, at Wyndham?
I mean, I think our defensive line has played pretty solid all year, and they're doing a good job. Key injury with Dylan Doucette, our starting middle linebacker, and we've had a sophomore who's stepped in, and he's really done a good job, but he's getting better each week. And Dante Fabiano, and Adrian Cruz has been, a leader for us in that position. But it just feels like there's a lot of rotation there. And then defensive back's been the same way. We were fortunate to get Javion Teeter back, from an injury throughout this summer, and he came back week 4. So we made a change there, but we've also had some changes at safety with the injury to Josh Wheeler. So, it's just building continuity. It's just communicating. That's been one of the huge focuses for us the last couple of weeks. It's just been communicating pre-play. I know we don't know what's coming, but we can still communicate where we're going to be, where our weakness is, use your help, just talk to each other and then constantly communicate post snap and making sure we're on the same page. I don't think I've ever seen defensive ours be in one coverage on one side of the field and another coverage on the other more times than I have this year. So it's just a lack of communication. We just got to get on.
Yeah. Steve?
Hey, Coach, great to see you again. Sorry it's been so long that we haven't, and looking forward to this game.
We haven't deserved it. It's all
well,
right.
No, I know. Yeah, Londonderry is one of our favorite places to come, as you know. Please tell Tony we said hello. I miss him. Usually I see him 3-4 times a year.
Likewise.
He's just phenomenal to us, and that guy's Johnny on the spot all the time. And
Yes. Yeah.
Terrific place to come and do a game, obviously, for so many different reasons. Let's talk about going to Wyndham this weekend, though. Coach Lee's done a phenomenal job down there. It's so difficult to do. We were there last Saturday. They put up a heck of a defense against a good Concord team. You guys left the door open for Concord, and obviously they took advantage of that. That was a game, definitely. I'm sure you guys would love to come back. My guess is you'd like to have Exeter back again, too. So to your point, there's been games throughout this year and others that you've not only been in, you had the opportunity to close it out. That's not anymore. That's not now. That's not looking forward. So coming into this week, you've got an opportunity to take on some of the serious brass of the league right now as far as this year is concerned. First of all, what can you say about Coach Lee coming over from Alvin, just his first year, doing what he's done there? And how do you see this game going? For what are the things you guys have got to do? Where's those areas that you might be saying, I've got to raise our game here, raise our game there? What are the things you got to do to stay competitive, have a chance to close this one out?
Yeah, so Coach Lee's done a great job. I've been fortunate to be able to coach some preseason camp with him each of the last 2 years. 1 year when he was at Alvin, and then this year with Wyndham. And I could just tell by how he and his staff do things that they definitely know what they're doing, and they're sound in what they do schematically. They're definitely on top of it, and they're not stuck in the old ways of or trying to be too new age. I think they're right where they're supposed to be, and they're just going to keep getting better. But yeah, he and his staff are definitely quality coaches that we know are going to be around for a while, and you're going to be tough to compete against. I wasn't upset when I thought he was going to leave. I thought he might leave the conference. I didn't know he was going to switch over to a different. No, but he's a good coach, and defensively they're extremely strong. I mean, those guys up front, their front seven are just really, really good. One of the best groups I've seen in a while. Honestly, I mean, reminds me a little bit, of some of these really good defensive lines that we played in the last couple of years in Bishop Curtin and Bedford, and these guys really get after it, and I'm impressed. That's been their strength. I don't think their offense is far off at all. They've got a good combo in the backfield with their running back and quarterback, and they've got some good receivers that are threats. So, this is a tough matchup. I mean, looking at their schedule, watching them in the preseason, I'm like, yeah, this team's going to win 6, to 8 games. And so, they've proved me right. I mean, I told that to my staff. I wasn't out predicting it to anybody, but
right.
And so this is a good team coached by some good coaches, and it'll be a challenge for sure. I think we've got to protect. We've got to establish, a good run game, and like I said, I mean, offensively, that's been our strength this year. There's been years we've relied heavily on our defense and our defensive coordinator who have carried us, and then there's years like this that we've needed to throw up some more points than normal. So, but our offense is definitely been our strong suit so far, and I hope that will continue on Saturday. But it'll be a good challenge.
Yeah, one of the things I noticed at the beginning of the year was the initial blocks, because it's Londonderry culture. The initial blocks were very solid at the beginning of the year, but downfield blocking and some of the second blocks and third blocks on a play weren't typically what I saw, and it looked like it was an issue where players are new. There's some of the younger guys. They're focusing on executing that first one. But I didn't see that the last 2 weeks. It looks to me like the blocking is in better form right now, of more traditionally Londonderry style. And win, lose, or draw, when you start doing those things, wins are going to come. One of the things, do you see it that way? Because that's what I see when I look at the film over the last 4 or 5 days, that the blocking downfield and getting off those blocks and runners reading seems to be more comfortability with stepping upfield from Adrian Cruz. He's getting a little bit more open space at times, and he's knocking off some good runs. So what are your thoughts on that? That's what I've seen in the limited film that I had.
Yeah, no, I think, there's been some ups and downs, but I think our offensive line has done a really good job. I mean,
done a good job.
Yeah, secondary, blocking for sure. We don't usually take the third level into consideration as often, but if there's a free man, for sure, we can definitely get up there. And, again, that comes with time and comfortability. Like they're blocking. They know their rules. They know who they're supposed to be blocking and how they're supposed to be blocking them. And then it's just a matter of going and getting somebody else after you've done you've done your job on one guy. And some of that's probably our DBs. Our offensive guys, receivers have to block those DBs as well. So, Adrian's carried us at times, and then there's been times where the offensive line has opened up some massive holes, and they've done a really good job. I mean, they've exceeded my expectations. I think a lot of people doubted them. They're a smaller, in stature group than we've had, but they've come out. They're a cohesive group. They really work well together. And have done a good job. And I saw them put in all the work over the summer, so I shouldn't say, they really exceeded my expectations. I know that they came to the season, they were prepared. But they're a times a really strong suit and part of our team, and they've protected our quarterback really well as well. And our receivers have stepped up. I think the biggest thing we've lacked this year is big plays, like the big play. The 60-yard touchdown, the 50-yard touchdown. In high school football, it's hard to sustain a 13 to 15 play drive. I mean, we had 33 first downs against Pinkerton, and I mean, we were just moving the chains. But at some point, that's probably going to run out. The field shrinks. They're a good defense, and at some point, someone's going to, get one into the end zone. And that just seems to be the case. And I guess I maybe overlooked it. It's not something I can necessarily control. I can drop some plays, but it's not always the case. So, we just hopefully guys will have an opportunity to score, some big touchdowns. And, the game, one of the best opponents we played all year was Duxbury. And in that game, we had really huge. Yeah. So, but that was the difference. We found some openings and we took advantage of it. So we'll keep working at it. Hopefully we'll be able to get a couple on Saturday, but they've really prevented teams from being able to do that. So, it would be a challenge.
One of the things I noticed with this game is you guys have the ability to really jump a lot of points. If you do win this game, you guys have an opportunity to really move up some spots, and preliminary round's good for you. So we're looking forward to this game as well. I know we got a little time crunch here, but Jim, as always, thank you so much for all you do for New Hampshire football. I'm sure this has been, at times trying and a difficult, but your players play hard. And I think Londonderry and Portsmouth, you got to be careful about. That's my opinion. So if you're a team that's in a high position, don't look down too low, because I think you guys in Portsmouth are the two teams that coming into playoffs are explosively ready to make a thing. But Wyndham will be tough on that defense, but I do wish you guys, I love both teams here. I'm looking forward to a good one. I think Nick and I both feel this is not going to be an easy game for anybody, and we look forward to it as usual. And we miss Londonderry football. So haven't been able to see you guys a lot.
We're hoping to get in. If we can get in, it's new life, new season. So, take it one game at a time, one play at a time.
Absolutely.
And essentially, have already started
Best
for
of
us.
luck.
So we're going to come out and play well. Thank you.
Say hi to Tony for us.
Thank you, Coach. Coach, we appreciate it for sure, and we'll see you Saturday. Best of luck as well.
Sounds good.
Thank
you, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you. Coach Lozon, longtime head coach at Londonderry, also the athletic director. Lancers looking for their fourth victory and a chance again to get into the playoffs. Wyndham, they're on a red-hot win streak. They've won 6 straight, trying to make it 7 in a row. And with outside help, they could win the Central Conference. Want to thank our guests. Let's start there. Jay Pinzano of the Seacoast Media Group, Josh Porter, head coach of Nashua South, and, of course, Coach Lozon, the head coach of Londonderry. Want to thank our sponsors as well, Beals Insurance, of course, the underwriters, and plenty of help from MG Sports, TKQB Academy, Jewett Construction, and Accurate Tree Service. We appreciate the ongoing support. Steve, final thoughts on our final weekend of regular season action. Again, tomorrow night we are in Derry, Pinkerton playing host to Nashua South. That's a 7 o'clock kick. Our coverage begins at 6:45. Saturday afternoon's game between Londonderry and Wyndham is on the air at 12:45 ahead of that 1 o'clock kick. Steve, quickly, final thoughts on week number 9.
Watch out for Londonderry if you Wyndham. I think you got to look at Wyndham and you got to say this is a very, very good Wyndham high school football team. But Londonderry, I believe, is a very proud program, and they're going to come out scrapping it. And Coach knows exactly what he needs. I'm really excited about these two games. I guess if I was going to give a final thought, it would be that I don't recall any year, Nick, in the many years we've been doing this, where every single weekend we had great matchups like we did this year. And that just speaks volumes to the coaching, the communities and the programs. And, I'm excited about what this playoff is going to be, because there's just a lot of unknowns out there, and there's going to be a lot of parity as we move to the finals. No question, Bedford seems like, and Manchester Memorial to me, and Pinkerton but you got BG and Wyndham and Salem playing great ball. I mean, who do you leave out of this group? Nobody. It's going to be a really good run here.
Yeah, a lot of parity in Division One. It's been a blast covering it as usual. And of course, we're not going away after this week. We've got the entire month of November.
Absolutely.
A lot of playoff football to get to, Division One, all divisions. And we'll be right here doing it week in and week out. All right. For our director, the man behind the curtain, the wizard of replay, our director, Ben Beals, doing a bang-up job back in the Beals Insurance Studios. And, of course, my partner / co-host / executive producer, Steve Beals. Another good job, my friend. My name is Nick Anastas, saying so long. This has been another presentation of FNL Gridiron presented by Beals Insurance.